So what we have here are pitcher plants. So pitcher plants in the genus Sarracenia, very common across the southeast. Most of the pitcher plant bogs that once existed across the southeast, 97% of them have disappeared, mostly due to land use changes. A lot of the areas that these occur have been drained because these prefer moist soils that are very nutrient deficient. They've been drained for agricultural, forestry, development uses such as that. And these right here, this particular species, is most likely Sarracenia rubra, or the red or sweet pitcher plant. Now, these are very similar to Sarracenia alata, also known as the pale pitcher plant. And the way most people generally tell the difference is they usually have pinstripes. Sarracenia alata usually has a pinstripe venation, whereas Sarracenia rubra, the red pitcher plants, have more venation, kind of that crazy look right there, if you can see, rather than just pinstripes. I'm not 100% certain these are rubra, but I have a feeling they probably are. Now, pitcher plants are carnivorous plants, and the reason they're carnivorous is they're adapted to these very nutrient-poor soils. So these, when I say nutrient-poor, they're poor, or they're deficient in nitrogen and phosphorus most of the time. So this is the reason that they supplement their nitrogen and phosphorus intake with insects. Now, how that works is this is called the operculum right here, and this shields the pitcher plant from excessive rainwater getting into the digestive juices, which are down here, these enzymes that break down the insects that they catch. Now, this operculum, a lot of them have downward facing hairs that kind of guide the insects down into the mouth, and these also excrete a nectar-like substance around the lip right here. Now, that attracts insects, and they get on here, and those downward facing hairs kind of guide them down, but there's kind of a waxy secretion on the inside of these lips, and insects will get on these lips right here, feeding on the nectar. They're attracted to that, and they'll slip and they'll fall down into the pitcher, and usually they'll land down here in the digestive juices, and they'll drown, and the enzymes that are in those digestive juices will break down the insect. That's how they supplement their nitrogen and phosphorus in these very deficient soils. Now, I've cut an old pitcher from this plant that's starting to die, and we'll look in it, and I've cut it open, and as you can see right here, you see all the insects on the inside. Seems like a lot of these are beetles. I've seen some of them that have been exclusively love bugs. I don't know if you can make that out very well. I didn't want to cut a big one, and this one was starting to die. But as you can see, the insect parts in there, looks like there's some ants. Very cool. So seems like there's a lot of different insect types in here. It seems like there's some ants. There's an ant head right there, or a wasp, and there's some beetles and other things in there. There's a beetle right there. So these plants are very, very cool. They're also very rare in some parts of the southeast. The ecosystem that they occur in is fire regulated, so that's one of the reasons that we don't see as much anymore either. Is not only because of land development, because of a lack of fire regime across many places. Many of these places that have been developed, it's hard to burn in, and they require fire to remove a lot of this vegetative growth around them, reduce competition, also provides a bare mineral soil, and encourages seedling, increased seeding, and increased seed germination, things of that sort. So these are just really cool plants, and you don't see many bogs. And if I had to make a suggestion, I would say go to Splinter Hill Bog in North Baldwin County, Alabama. They have one of the best pitcher plant bogs in the southeast. It's very well maintained. I certainly recommend you go and see it, especially in the springtime when all the pitchers and the blooms are up. It's a beautiful sight. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask us, and have a good day.